Good evening. It's a pleasure to be able to say a few words this evening, even though obviously I'm a long way away. It's an absolute delight actually to be able to support NAV in this evening's proceedings. In fact, I think it gives his colleagues in Manchester an opportunity to see that there has actually been something at the end of all the time that he has put into this over the last few years. When Oxford University Press asked for another edition of this little book, I'd recently retired and I really valued the opportunities that retirement gives one, and I thought, well, who's the best person in the world to be able to take this over to a different level? And there were very few people who one could consider, and in fact NAV was the person that I thought would be able to do this, because I'd long admired the confidential inquiry into suicide which had been undertaken at Professor Lewis Appleby's suggestion a number of years before, and I'd followed that with great interest. And this really sort of resonated very much with the ideas that I've formulated over a number of years. And I was delighted when NAV did agree to take over the mantle. I don't know that he fully understood what he was in for, because it does become quite all-consuming to make sure that one does have things reasonably in perspective. And I think NAV's done a fantastic job. It really is NAV's book, and I think it is a credit to him what he's come up with. I think he's made it much more readable. His style of presentation is much more up-to-date than mine is, I'm afraid. And in addition to thanking NAV very sincerely for taking this on, I also wish to owe a debt to Lewis Appleby, who's been most generous in his foreword again to this third edition. Obviously, the University of Manchester, Lewis Appleby, Nav Kapoor, all of the colleagues there, I have the utmost respect for what has been done in terms of research into suicide prevention, and I have no doubt in my mind that the result of the work there has been influential in the world, and I think its influence still hasn't really reached its full potential. It certainly hasn't in Australia or in the United States, where we've both recently been. And it takes a while for the information to become permeated around the world. But with NAV's work here, making the book even more accessible, I think that we do have an opportunity to influence suicide worldwide. Apologies for the ringing in the bells in the background. It's certainly not Big Ben, but it's my little clock in the background. Okay, enjoy yourselves, and thank you again, Nav, for taking over the mantle. Well done.